witches, and welcome to the lair of the film exorcist. Now, like last time, before we start, go ahead and tell me down in the comment section below, if we lived in a world of magic, what kind of magic would you learn? Personally, I might use flame magic, because it can either be used for fighting, or you can use it for cooking, which would come pretty handy. Because tonight, we will be taking a look at Wise Man's grandson. A young man dies in a car accident and is reborn in a magical new world. The old yet wise Merlin finds the boy, names him Shin, raises him from infancy, and teaches him combat and powerful magic along the way. 15 years later, Shin is ready to travel the globe on his own, but Merlin forgot to teach him something major. Common sense. Something that a lot of us these days don't have, including myself, even when parents try to teach it to us. So, let's get on to my opinion. To be honest, this anime isn't well liked by anyone due to how it follows the same story as any anime where the main character is reincarnated as an overpowered jerk. And this was best expressed by Espiritu and many other YouTubers and online reviewers. So who made this anime anyway? Well, surprisingly it was done by Silver Link Studios, one of my favorites, because they created shows like Watamote and Chivalry of a Failed Knight, two anime that I wish had been continued, and they even wrote a lot of the more modern shows that interest me. Which explains why this show does focus on how socially awkward the main character is, and why he's so overpowered. And the writer is Masafumi Tamura, who has helped with anime shows like Infinite Stratus and Shakagana no Shana. So, this is his first time directing something big. So is this really as bad as they say? Let's check it out. If you guys remember during my review of Devil May Cry, I stated that the intro and outro should keep the hype that the show itself provides, which many have failed to do. But this one does it well, by starting the show off with a strong J-pop song, which gets your feet tapping as you watch the main character on the screen, and it also gives us hints of what we're gonna see in the anime, like the budding romance between Shin and Sicilian. And the outro gives us a really good rock ballad, which gets you excited for the next episode, and the visuals focus on our main character as he reflects on his life throughout the years up until his time at the school, which acts as a kind of recap. And we also get to see everyone standing triumphantly as if they've won, which is pretty cool, and has been done many times. So yeah, this anime does the hype very well, especially since today you see many that end up destroying the feeling that the show provides. Next is the characters, starting with Shin, who may start out as just another overpowered reincarnation, but he's actually different from the many other iterations because unlike them, he's actually trying to share his power with his classmates, similar to how Harry Potter tries to train his friends during the Order of the Phoenix, which shows even anime can take inspiration from movies. And it is kind of funny when he does seem clueless during the show, like when everyone was surprised that he talked to the prince like he was an old friend, where most would bow to him, and this is because his grandfather forgot to teach him how to act around certain people. Next is the prince himself, August, who is your typical manipulative friend who takes advantage of Shin's lack of common sense, and he does tend to help regulate Shin's power and ideas so that he doesn't throw the world out of balance. Finally, we have Maria and Sicilian, who Shin originally saved during his first visit to the kingdom and has since become good friends. And Sicilian is also Shin's love interest during the show. She's also quiet and always relying on Shin, especially during the first few episodes. And Maria is her longtime friend who has been rooting Shin and Sicilian's romance from the start. But she can also be very upfront and vocal, and she turns into a huge fangirl when it comes to Merlin and Melinda. And the rest of his friends, Alice, Thor, Lynn, Yuri, Tony, Julius, Mark, and Olivia, are also important in their own ways, like Mark, who helped come up with the idea for Shin's new detachable sword, Thor and Joyce, who are August escorts and friends, Tony is the only other person in the group that excels in swordplay, Yuri is really good at enchantment magic, and she's under the tutelage of Melinda, and she's also kind of the sex appeal of the show due to her boobs. Lynn is terrible at controlling her magic, and Alice is the short, upkeep, childish friend who many call a lolly. And we can see why. And this gets her angry. So, I really enjoyed these characters for what they are, especially since they're what makes this show different from the rest, especially since they're more of a group than just one person, and the rest being his support group, which is a nice change of pace from the rest of the Isekai that are just shoved out there. Finally, we have the story, which was pretty interesting to say the least. I mean, like I said before, this anime tries something new, and it works! Instead of just having one overpowered character that does most of the work, we have 12 friends fighting together to protect their kingdom from multiple demons, and this is because of our main character, who isn't as selfish as the rest of the overpowered characters in anime. That we also get the chance to finally see a romance bloom during an isekai, unlike the rest, who just turned into harems or didn't follow through because they wanted to focus on the story. And this is done through a full-on engagement between Shin and Cecilian, or Cicely, as many would call her, despite the difference in status, which I love and hope to see more of their relationship in a possible second season. So get on it, guys. Now for the villains, who are surprisingly stronger than the main cast, especially when we witness one of them survive one of Shin's strongest moves. And not to mention, even when half of the group faces one of his subordinates, they end up being beaten in the end. So yeah, it seems our heroes need a lot more practice before they can beat these bad guys. That's a good thing, because it means that they're actually human, unlike Mamiko with her overpowered 2-hit combos. I mean, I get it's supposed to be a joke, but we also come for the story, and not all the swimsuits. So yeah, the story definitely met my expectations when it comes to creating a story that makes the overpowered character work, by teaching others to be like him and still being too underpowered to beat their enemies at this point. So yeah, this was a pretty good show, and that's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. For the great story, the interesting characters, and for doing the overpowered character justice for once. So I definitely recommend this to anyone looking for a great isekai anime, or they're looking to find an anime that knows how to make a great group of characters. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And before we close the show out, I'd just like to shout out Gang Miku, which is a Discord server which was created by my good friend Nanako Miku from Instagram, who used to work for this channel as our manager. So go check it out and have fun there, because there's a lot of Miku there. And we'll see you guys next week. So, you guys better start practicing your magic. So, good night.